Hi, welcome to WLN Radio and Podcast. Today I'm here with
Armando.
And what are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to be talking about rock climbing.
Cool. So what's the best part about your rock climbing?
So the best part about rock climbing is problem solving. So there's a thing called bouldering, which is on a 16-foot wall and you have no fall protection. And it's really problem solving the whole way, of trying to figure out which position works best to save my energy so I can get up the wall.
I don't think I could do that. What would you say the toughest part is?
Yeah, the toughest part would be it's definitely physically demanding. My finger strength is not at where I want it, so my fingers will give out, and then you'll get a massive forearm pump, meaning that your forearms have that lactic acid buildup, and it makes it a lot harder to grip on things. So that's probably one of the hardest parts. And then also, again, about that problem solving is reading the beta, which beta means the correct terms or the correct body positions to be able to get to the top of the route.
And how would you say that you're going to improve on your skills?
Yeah, so ways I'm going to improve is I'm going to keep on rock climbing as much as possible. Right now I'm looking about doing it 2 times a day, but I also have a thing called a hangboard. And a hangboard, it's just a board that has different slots that you can put your fingers in to hang from. So we have about an inch slot, a 2-inch slot, a 3-finger pocket, a 2-finger pocket. So that's in my house, so I'll be hangboarding more before bed, and then also hitting the gym.
How long have you been doing this?
So I started in 2021, and it was in the summer, and I was at the water park, and I was like, you know what? I want to do some rock climbing. So I did some research, and I found a rock climbing gym in Plano. Went for my first time, fell in love with it, and then it's history from there on.
Are there any events that you do?
Yes. So I do competitions. These aren't like crazy, insane competitions like the Olympics or the IFSC championships, but they're just local bouldering competitions. I have one next Friday. The highest I've placed in a competition was first place there at Commerce. Then I also did this one competition called the Summit 12 Hours of Suffering. And that means for 12 hours you climb as many routes as possible in all 5 gym locations around DFW. And me and my partner participated in that, and we climbed a total of about 270 routes, and I ended up getting second place out of like 400 people.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Do you think you're going to be doing this in the future at any point?
Yes. So where I'm going at for college is it's in the mountains. So there's a lot of rock climbing. It's in Red Rock Canyon, which is a very famous climbing spot. Alex Honnold lives there, and he's that guy who was on the National Geographic Free Solo, where he climbs up these 3,000 foot walls with no fall protection. So it's basically like if you were to fall, you're dead. So he lives there, and I plan on climbing a lot there, climbing every wall, and then also going to Yosemite, and I would love to climb Half Dome or El Capitan.
Is there anything else you want to talk about rock climbing?
I can talk about the other forms of rock climbing, because a lot of people think that rock climbing in general is just one thing, but there's different forms. Like I stated before, there's the bouldering, then there's the top roping, and basically that means that someone is climbing up the wall and you have a belayer on the ground that is pulling out the slack, so if you were to fall, nothing would really happen. Then there's sport climbing, and this is what we see in the Olympics. It's more of a dangerous form of climbing, because what you're doing is you're climbing up the wall and there's already pre-placed draws. They're called quick draws, and you put your rope in the draws. But what's dangerous about that is like these draws are spaced out 10 feet. So if you were to fall and you miss your draw, you would fall 10 feet plus the slack that is taken out from your belayer. So you would end up falling about 20 feet before the rope stops you. Then there's also free soloing, which is super, super dangerous. I do plan on doing it. Hopefully my mom doesn't know, but only a 40-feet wall and something very easy. And then there is deep water soloing, which is like free soloing, but you're over water. And there's just a whole bunch of different types of rock climbing. There's also speed climbing, which is in the Olympics, which is getting up to the wall, getting up to the top as fast as possible. And that's a really controversial form of rock climbing. Not a lot of people like it. A lot of people love it. It just kind of depends.
And for anyone who is interested in rock climbing, what would you suggest they start off with?
So I would suggest that they do some research onto what gym they want to go to. I would recommend, if you're first trying out, to go to A&M Commerce and you can use their rock climbing wall or go to Summit Plano. And I would recommend doing some top roping because you would feel more safe than the bouldering, because like I said, with the bouldering, you have no fall gear, so you're falling down onto the mat. And then just start at a very comfortable grade. And a very comfortable grade would be like a VB or V0 for bouldering, or a 5.8 and 5.9. I can speak on about the grades if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So there's multiple grades in rock climbing. So for bouldering, it's the V scale, and it goes from VB to like V15 is the hardest climbed. Right now I'm at a V6. And then for top rope sport climbing, it's on the Yosemite decimal system. So it's like 5.6 to a 5.15, I think. I'm at a 5.12, and then it's like 5.12A, 5.12B, 5.12C, ranges like that.
Okay, well that wraps up our interview. Thank you so much, Armando, for coming in and talking about rock climbing.
I appreciate it.
Okay, and join us next time for another WLN Radio and podcast.